Hey guys, John here again. Thanks so much for tuning back into the Rusty Canteen YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be doing something pretty simple, doing just a quick video / review on the Harbor Freight weapon light. I know it's been covered by other people, so I mean nothing really new, but I just got one and I wanted to make a video on it. So I've got two handguns here. I've got my M&P 2.0 with a regular TLR-1 HL, and then I have my SIG SP 2022 with the Harbor Freight Braun TLR-1 knockoff. Now before I go any further, I just want to ask that you like this video and subscribe to the channel so that you can stay up to date on any videos that I post. Now what I want to do with this video is just do a comparison between the two and also a little bit of a torture test on the Harbor Freight knockoff. So I'm going to make sure that that the Harbor Freight light will work with TLR-1 holsters. I will also be comparing their performance and then also trying to put the Harbor Freight light through its paces. So I do plan on being kind of rough with it. I'm gonna expose it to the cold. I'm gonna throw it around, just try to beat it up some. I mean, I'm not going to like smack the glass or anything right on the front and purposely break it. But if it does break, it's not a big deal. These lights only cost $50, so significantly cheaper than a standard Streamlight TLR-1 HL. Now first off, I'm just going to compare some of the basic specs between the two lights, or at least what's given. I'm not really worried about runtime, but they do have, according to their websites, identical runtime on high power. They are also both rated at 1000 lumens. The Streamlight has a 20,000 candela rating. There's no advertised value for candela on the knockoff light though. And then the beam distance for the TLR-1 is about 283 if I remember correctly. And then doing the math, because it was like in feet, I think it was 850 feet for the Harbor Freight light, which that ends up coming out to about 259 meters if I remember correctly. So pretty much the same. I mean, at least on paper, nothing that I would be worried about there. Now I'm going to flip the camera around. We'll just kind of compare the two visually, and then I'm going to test fit them in some holsters. We'll go outside, compare the output, and then I will start beating up this light a bit. All right, now that they are off of the handguns, we'll just do a quick kind of, flip around comparison of them. So overall, very similar. You can see that the profile is pretty much the same from both sides. Damn near identical. Maybe some slight differences in dimensions on the height of just some of these edges and stuff. They both have the same kind of ribbing right behind the caps. This the Streamlight has a reflective, I think it's just like a bare aluminum is actually what it is. They just didn't coat it, but it has a bare ring around the lens, and then this one is just black all the way across. I actually kind of like that more. That's very reflective there. Something that could give away your position if you were in a scenario where you were trying to hide. They are basically identical most of the way around. The Streamlight has a fully recessed screw on the back though. The Harbor Freight, you can see it's kind of poking up a little bit. It's not really a big deal. Just pointing that out. As far as the top view goes, they are also very, very similar. And then one thing I did notice is that on the Harbor Freight light, you can see that this piece here that hooks onto the Picatinny rail is, it's not actually a solid piece like it is on the TLR-1. It's not really anything to be worried about, I would say. It's just a difference between the two of them. And both lights function the same. So you can double tap for strobe, high. And then looking at them head on, you can see that they are once again pretty much identical. Okay, so this is a full-size M&P holster. I mean, you can use it on the compact, but it's, for a 4 1/4 inch barrel setup. Definitely way too much to be carrying inside waistband. I thought maybe I would like it, and I really don't. Holster's nice though, so no complaints there. But I'm going to swap these both around, and we are going to test both of them to make sure that they get good lockup on the holster. Also, I just wanted to mention this does come with multiple keys. So there's, 3 or 4 in there, and then not including the one that I already have in. I'll have to swap it out to put it on the M&P though. Okay, now that that's on, we will test fit it. So it has a pretty good solid lockup on it. It's kind of hard pushing it in from this angle with my hands, but I would say it feels very good. It feels very snug. And now we have the Streamlight back on. Once again, about the same fitment, same amount of tension. I didn't move these screws at all, so this feels pretty much exactly the same as it did with the Harbor Freight knockoff. Okay, so now that we're done with that, we will move on to the output comparison, and then we will go on to beating this thing up a decent amount and seeing if it holds up. All right, now time for a light performance comparison. On the left here, we have the actual Streamlight, so pretty decent. That tree and those poles out there, they're probably about, I would call it 50, 60 yards, maybe a little more for the trees on the other side of the road. And then on the right here, we have the knockoff, which actually I think is outshining it. And they both should have good batteries in them, so that should not be an issue. So yeah, you can see, I feel like the knockoff actually performs much better. I mean, they're both adequate for sure, but I just feel like you get better performance out of the Harbor Freight light. Both strobes work really well. Dog's probably like, what the hell? I think that tells you all you need as far as performance output goes. And since we're out here, took the light off. It's nice and snowy. So we're just going to leave it there, let it chill for a bit. We'll come back out and test it. Yeah, kill it. Good boy.
A few moments later.
Oh, all right, there it is. Oh. Look at that. Well, still works. Uh-oh. Still works. Got snow all over the front, but it still works. Water test. Well, it's still working so far. Now it's time for the poo-poo test. Yeah, nice and clean. There we go. All right, so now on to beating the crap out of this thing. I'm gonna just chuck this thing around, throw it as far as I can throw it, which isn't very far because I have a terrible arm. I'm gonna throw it into some OSB and yeah, just try to, you know, give it some shock. We'll see how well it works. So you're about to see some of the best throwing form you've ever seen. Yeah, still looks good. So, I'm gonna throw it again. Landed on a nice big frozen chunk of dirt. Some dirt in the lens, but the lens held up good. So I'm gonna aim it towards this sheet of OSB now. All right, time for the OSB test. I've actually already beat the crap out of this thing so many times and I didn't realize that my camera wasn't on. So that was awesome. So I'm gonna actually beat the crap out of this thing even more than I already did. So everything you see me doing, I've already done at least like 10 times. Broke something on it. All right, I'm not gonna do any more. I actually did do some damage on this thing. Nothing that makes it not work. It's actually, I'm not surprised it didn't happen sooner. Unfortunately, like I said, I had already thrown into that thing, I bet at least 15 times, honestly, before I just did those, and just as hard. And it still works great. So the light still functions properly. You got your solid light, got your strobe, and it works on both sides. The only problem is, and I knew this was going to be a weak point and a potential breaking point, is I hit it right. I must have hit it right on the switch on this side, which what are you going to do about that? That's not really a surprise that that would break if you hit it just right. I don't think that's really a knock on the light itself. Pretty sure my regular TLR-1 would do the same thing if I had done what I just did to that. So yeah, it's not really a concern to me. I'm going to see if I can get another switch. Maybe I can get a replacement TLR-1 switch to put on there. If not, I can still make it work how it is. It just kind of sucks. That being said, it works 100%. It's in good shape. Lens is still working and solid. It's not cracked. And what else? Let's see. The pin did walk out a little bit there on the battery cap. I can just push that back in, not a big deal. So I think that pretty much proves that this light is more than durable enough, especially in comparison to the TLR-1. You've already seen that it performs just as well. You know, as far as output goes, it's clearly very rugged, and I think it's a great option, especially for us budget-minded guys. I didn't get any video of me shooting it, but I actually have shot my my SIG that I had this on with the light on, and it worked just fine, as it should. It's a weapon light and advertised as so it should be able to handle that. So anyway, guys, that's it for now. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Keep an eye out for more videos coming soon, and I'll see you guys later.